Hey guys, this is Emily from Emily's Anthology, and today what I'm going to do for you guys is show you how to take a daytime look and transition it into a nighttime look. The products that I've used are pretty minimal. These are also products that I actually use on a daily basis, and these are products that I have used quite a few times here in Malaysia to transition my makeup from morning to night. Also, this is my very first video filmed here in Malaysia. I haven't set up my filming area yet, so I only have a couple of lights over here and my camera. I am really sorry if the images are coming out a little bit less than perfect, if the lighting is a little bit less than perfect as well, but I will be bringing in more equipment to kind of improve the quality of my videos, so please bear with me temporarily, and I really hope that you guys enjoy the video. So first things first, always start off with a nice clean base. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a sunscreen because I feel that that's the most important step in your daily makeup. The sunscreen that I've discovered recently is a Biore UV Perfect Face Melt Sunscreen. Biore is the #1 sunscreen seller in Japan, and for good reason. This is a really amazing sunscreen. It glides onto the skin and feels velvety smooth and very matte. And I've already applied a nice thick layer of the sunscreen onto my face. Now I'm going to move on to the foundation. And a foundation that I've been really liking for this kind of weather and my current skin type is the NARS Sheer Glow. This is a really amazing foundation that has really good coverage and is also slightly matte, so it's perfect for the warmer weather here. So what I've done is I've taken a little bit of the NARS Sheer Glow onto the back of my hand, and now with a Dior face brush, this is their full coverage foundation brush, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by applying the foundation to the center of my face and then work it outwards from there. I'm going to go into the eyebrows now, and for that I'm using the Anastasia, I think that's how you pronounce it, Beverly Hills Beauty Express Kit, and mine is the color Brunette. So I'm just picking up both colors in the palette with my brush and then taking them through my brows. So now that the brows and the skin are done, I'm going to move on to the eyes. For the eyes, I want to do something really eye-opening but not very dramatic, just because it is a day look. I'm going to go in with the sleek Oh So Special palette, which looks like this. And it has a good mix of neutral colors and a bunch of darker colors as well, which is perfect for the kind of look that I want to do, which is a daytime look that I want to transition into night. So for starters, I'm going to go in with this light color over here. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up very well, but it's just a nice kind of frosty pinkish color with really strong gold flecks in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick it up with my clean finger and deposit it onto the inner corners of my eyes. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of color to the outer corners of the eyes, and for that I'm going to be using this dark matte brown color over here in the palette. Now I've discovered that because my eyes are so small, and when I don't want to take the eyeshadow too high up on my eyes, the regular 217 brush that I normally use, these brushes are really good for blending color, but they do tend to spread the color a little widely, especially if you have really small eyes. In general, Asians tend to have much smaller eyes than the Caucasians, so I would recommend actually using a pencil brush instead, especially if you don't want the color to spread too much. So I'm picking up that brown color in the palette, and what I'm going to do is with the pencil brush, I'm only going to place it on the outer corners of the eyes, and depending on how you want to place that eyeshadow, you can kind of put it in a little V on the outer corners, just like that. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with a clean pencil brush and do that blending. So if you noticed earlier, I am actually pulling that eyeshadow a little bit inside onto the crease, and what that's going to do is add some very subtle dimension to the eyes. And then if you feel like you've blended out a little bit too much of that eyeshadow, there's no problem there. Just go back in, add a little bit of dimension, a little bit more depth and darkness there and then blend it back out. And then once that's done, I'm also going to take that shadow onto the lower lash line. So the eyeshadow is more or less done for this look. Now I'm going to move on to the eyeliner, and to make it kind of a soft overall look, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with a brown eyeliner. This is the Physicians Formula Custom Eye Enhancing Eyeliner Trio, and I'm just going to apply it onto both my upper and lower lash lines. Now I'm going to make it a little bit thicker on the upper lash line here at the outer corners, and then on the lower lash line just apply it onto the waterline, but only about halfway across. So that's the eyeliner done, and now I'm going to move on to the mascara. Now for mascara, I use two different types now. I use the Majolica Majorca one, and I also use the Kiss Me Volume and Curl, I think it's called. The Volume and Curl is incredibly amazing. Unfortunately, it is so amazing that my family members have gone and hijacked it. So I don't have it with me right now, so I'm going to be using my Majolica Majorca. And I'm just going to apply a quick coat onto my lashes. So next up, we're going to be moving on to the blush. If you follow my blog or my YouTube channel, you already know why it is that I'm doing blush before concealer. So I'm going in with my favorite Sandler watercolor blush, and this is in the color Cherub. Just giving it a quick shake and then taking a bit of it out on my clean finger. And then I'm going to start to apply the blush. I'm just going to use tiny patting motions and kind of sweep this blush bit by bit throughout my cheeks. So now that I've got some color into my cheeks, I can start concealing. First things first, I'm going to go in with the Clinique Airbrush Concealer. Mine is the color Neutral Fair. And I'm going to apply that to my under eye area. This is a great concealer for the under eye area just because it is pigmented enough to cover up your dark circles, but it also contains a tiny bit of light reflecting pigment, which is going to help make your dark circles appear a lot lighter because of light reflection. And then for the cheeks and the rest of my face, I am moving on to my HG concealer product, and this is the Mercier Secret Camouflage. It has two different colors that you can kind of mix in together to kind of create the perfect color for your skin. I'm just going to add a little bit of a highlight underneath my eyebrows, and then I'm going to mix in the two colors in the concealer palette. I'm going to go into other areas of my face besides my cheeks that need a bit of concealing. Alright, so now that the rest of my face is concealed, I'm going to go into the cheek concealing now, and if you want to see that video, obviously I will link it over here. What that's going to do is it's going to create a kind of thicker version of my blush, so that when I conceal the areas of my cheeks, it matches my blush color perfectly, but it also conceals any spots that I need to conceal. Now generally what I'll do is I'll actually set the concealer and the rest of my face with a pressed powder or a loose powder, but this time around what I'm going to do is, just so the blush color lasts a bit longer and looks a little bit more intense than it currently does, I'm going to go in with a blush to set the blush areas. So this is a blush from Clarins that I received from rye.com.au. They do super quick shipping, and they sell a lot of beauty products as well as hair products and electrical tools. So this blush is from Clarins, and it is the #1 blush in Lovely Rose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up with a Real Techniques what is this? A blush brush, and I'm just going to lightly tap it over all the areas where I placed the cream blush earlier. And then I'm also going to set the rest of my face with a tiny bit of pressed powder. This is from Dior. This is their Diorskin Nude Compact Foundation. What I'm going to do is just place it in areas where I know that I'll get a little bit slick by afternoon. And then finally, I'm going to finish off with a gloss. This is from Sisley Paris, and the color is #2. Now the reason why I like this gloss is that it has enough color in it so that it suits daytime use, but it is also nude enough that when you apply a smoky eye in the evenings, it still matches perfectly. So that is the daytime look finished, and this is just kind of what it looks like overall. And now I'm going to show you how to bring this makeup into night. Okay, so to start the transition into a nighttime look, you want to go back into your sleek palette, and I think I'm going to choose this kind of dark purple shade over here just because I really love purple. And I'm going to pick it up on the 217 brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in the same area where I placed the matte brown eyeshadow earlier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up, and if you'll notice, I use the 217, which disperses product a lot more widely on your eye area. And this is exactly what we want because we're going for a smokier look now that it's nighttime. So I'm just bringing that shadow further and further out on the eyes. So as you can see, if I open up my eyes, the eyeshadow shows a lot more clearly on the eye when the eye is open as compared to our daytime eyeshadow. I'm also going to bring that onto the lower lash line. Now if you have smaller eyes, you're definitely going to want to bring a smaller brush with you, just so it's easier for you to apply the eyeshadow onto the lower lash line, because this brush is way too big. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go in with the exact same frosty pinkish gold color that I applied on my lids earlier, and I'm going to intensify the inner corners of the eyes and pull that eyeshadow a little bit onto the lower lash line in the inner corners. Alright, and now that that's done, I'm moving on to mascara and just adding on a thicker coat. And then what I want to do is I'm going to coat the lower lash line as well. Now I actually should have done this before I applied the mascara, but I completely forgot. I'm going to go back in with the Physicians Formula eyeliner, and I'm going to thicken the lines on both my upper and lower lash lines. Now you can pop in a darker eyeliner into your makeup bag if you want. I just have this brown with me right now, so I'm just going to use that. I'm going to apply it now all the way across the lower lash line. And that's just going to add some drama and some darkness to the eyes that I didn't have before. And then if you have the energy for it, you can actually apply a pair of false eyelashes. I have a kind of natural looking pair of false eyelashes that are still going to add quite a bit of drama to the eyes. So I'm going to just put these on and I will be right back. So the false eyelashes have been applied, and now I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of contour to my skin. I'm going in with the exact same sleek palette. This is why this palette is so versatile. It has a couple of matte brown shades over here that I'm going to mix together. This light one and this darker one over here. I'm just going to pick it up with a Real Techniques contour brush and kind of tap the excess off on the back of my hand. And then with that, I'm just going to contour my face. Very, very lightly. All I want to do is add a little bit of dimension to my skin, slim my face down a little bit, and then with the 217 that I used earlier, I'm also going to pick a tiny amount of that powder up on the brush and apply that down the sides of my nose just to add some contour. And that is the finished nighttime look. Now obviously whatever you put inside your handbag or makeup bag for the rest of the day depends on how much it is that you need and what exactly it is that you need. For example, if you have really thick eyebrows, then you don't have to bring your eyebrow palette along with you. Or if your makeup tends to last pretty long on the skin, then you can skip the foundation and the blush and just bring your eyeshadow palette and a couple of eyeshadow brushes. So that is more or less it for the tutorial today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any requests or any questions, and I will get to them as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!